So here are my top 3 go-to trail running shoes this summer for the conditions we run in here in central Pennsylvania. What's up everybody, John Phillips here, the Running Reverend, and today is the 3rd day in a row of a complete washout outside. So what I thought I'd do today is to tell you what my top 3 go-to trail running shoes are going to be this summer. So here are my top 3 go-to trail running shoes this summer for the conditions we run in here in central Pennsylvania. First, my number 1 go-to trail running shoe this year is going to be the Salomon Sense Ride 2. Now, the Salomon Sense Ride 2 is a new shoe for me because it's a new shoe in the Salomon lineup. And what I love about the Salomon Sense Ride 2 is the fact that it has a very nice cushioned midsole. The midsole here is designed to have a little bit of extra cushion for some of those long runs. And here in central Pennsylvania, we're definitely dealing with a lot of technical trails, technical climbs, technical descents. Once you get on top of the mountain ridges here, even though things get flat on the top of the mountain, they're still pretty muddy. A lot of roots and ruts that you have to run through. So that's what I like about the Salomon Sense Ride 2 is it has a really great balance between the minimalist shoes and also the maximum shoes in terms of the cushioning. So when I run in the Salomon Sense Ride 2, I feel like my feet get the proper balance between feeling the trail and having my foot have a sense of being able to grip the trails, but also I love it that I don't feel everything on the trails as well. So this has been a really fun shoe to run in this spring, and I cannot wait to put some more miles in it this year. It's got a great upper on this shoe. It really dries out well. Another point I want to make about this shoe is no matter how much water you run through, how wet it gets, in just a few strides, things drain out very quickly, and it really dries out well. So I like running in this shoe. It's very comfortable. It gives you enough cushioning for the long term. As all of Salomon's shoes are noted for, the lacing system is really convenient. It's just a pull and tighten down lacing system. It's really convenient. It's really easy. It's easy to activate. And so I like this shoe. It has really good grip on the wet traction. Here in central Pennsylvania, we always have to be aware of the fact that we're constantly running on rocks and roots, and oftentimes they're wet. So really need to be cautious of the fact that we need shoes here that have a good wet traction outsole, and Salomon's really done a great job this year of putting out some shoes that are very grippy on wet traction. And so nothing will ruin your run quicker than slipping on a rock and falling down for no reason at all. And so that's what I love about this Contra Grip outsole material that Salomon's putting in their shoes. Now, one thing I don't like is this shoe does not have a rock plate in it. I think one of the reasons why they kept the rock plate out is to lower the weight of the shoe. The shoe's pretty light, but there's like a pro film in here that they're saying is sort of like a compromise. I found that I do feel the rocks, especially on fast technical descents. I do feel the rocks, and when I do enough of that in one run, it does have an effect on my foot. So it's kind of the drawback between having a lighter trail running shoe and not having a really effective rock plate. Nonetheless, it's still a great shoe, and I love running in this shoe. It's going to be kind of my primary go-to shoe this summer. The Sense Ride 2 is 9.5 ounces, and it has an 8 millimeter drop. I wrote some notes down on these shoes, but it's got an 8 millimeter drop, which is okay. I like between a 4 millimeter and an 8 millimeter, so it's all right. I don't really feel it. I've strengthened my Achilles now enough to where I can run in various heel drops and not feel the effects. But if you're just getting into trail running, this is a good shoe to start with because it kind of helps you, helps assist your Achilles on some of those technical descents. So I like this shoe. I love running in it. I actually have 111 miles in the Sense Ride 2s already this year. So as you can see, it's my go-to shoe. Now, I want to mix up in my rotation other trail running shoes that I go to. I don't want to just ride all in one shoe. I don't want to just run all in one shoe. I don't want to just run in the Sense Ride 2 all my miles until the shoe wears out and then think about what else do I want to do. So what I've done is I've incorporated a couple of other shoes in my inventory that I can rotate throughout my week of running. And the number two go-to shoe that I want to incorporate in my rotation is the Salomon Sense Pro 3. The Salomon Sense Pro 3 is another great shoe that Salomon has come out with. One of the things I want to say is, in the early days of my experience in running, I love Salomon for their durability. I love Salomon for the ease of lacing things up and just the grip that they have on the outside. But in the early days of trail running, Salomon didn't have a very good variety of trail running shoes, but that's not the case anymore. Salomon's really stepped up their game when it comes to putting out a variety of really effective trail running shoes. And so this is an example of that. Salomon has this shoe called the Salomon Sense Pro 3, and it's very similar to the Salomon Sense Ride, except that it has a lower heel drop. The midsole isn't as cushiony, it's not as thick, but at the same time, one of the things that this shoe has that the Sense Ride doesn't is more aggressive depth in the lugs. And so this Sense Pro 3 is a great shoe to incorporate into your summer running inventory because it's a good shoe for those technical steep climbing and descending runs that we do around here. And I've run a lot in this shoe. Actually, I have over 50 miles already in the Sense Pro 3, and I really have enjoyed running in this shoe. It gives me a little bit extra traction. The lugs, like I said already, are a little bit thicker than the Sense Ride. The outsole is the same material, so it's really grippy on wet traction. It's the same as the Sense Ride in the sense that it doesn't have an official rock plate, but they have this Pro Film lining in there that they say kind of offsets everything. And it's working pretty good. I'm not going to complain about it. Again, I love this shoe. It's very durable. It really reflects a lot of the elements that we run through here. It dries quickly. It's not as cushiony as the Sense Ride 2. However, it's good to train your foot on how to run and feel the trails at the same time. So it's good to mix in this lower heel drop. This has a 4mm heel drop. It's a little bit lighter. Whereas the Sense Ride 2 is 9.5 ounces. This one is about an 8.9 ounce. So it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more responsive on the trails. You can feel the elements a little bit more. It's got a grippier outsole because the lugs are longer. And it's just a really fun shoe to run in. And so I like mixing this. These are my two go-to shoes. This one first. Then the next run, I'll probably pick up this. I'll run in these two primarily. For the most part, I'll run all my miles this summer in these two shoes. However, sometimes there is a unique circumstance where whether it's where I'm going to run or the race and where the race is, or the conditions outside. Sometimes it can be really, really rainy, muddy, and I'm going to be running on some softer ground. And in that case, I have a third shoe in my summer lineup. It's a Salomon shoe, but this time I'm going to grab the Salomon Speedcross 4. All right, so the Salomon Speedcross 4 has been a really great shoe for me in my running experience. This is actually the third version of the Salomon Speedcross that I've owned. I don't put as many miles into them anymore now that these other two newer, better versions have come out by Salomon, but still I have it in my lineup. I still go to it occasionally. I have about 130 miles already on this shoe, but for the most part, the reason I have so many miles on this shoe isn't because of my summer running, but it's because of my winter running. And I'm going to tell you that what I love most about this shoe is that it's a very, very grippy outsole. I would only go to this shoe in the summertime when I really was concerned that I was going to slip and fall on the conditions that I was running in. And so this shoe has a very, very aggressive lug pattern, and the lugs are the longest of the three shoes I'm talking about today. The outsole is very grippy. This shoe has a lot of good protection around the base of the foot. So if you're running through a lot of debris, a lot of rocks, you think you're going to slip, your foot isn't necessarily going to stick right where you plant it, this is the shoe you want to wear. It has the same, all the Salomon shoes have this quick lace system. And it's just a great shoe. It's the heaviest of the three. This is a 10.5-ounce shoe, and it's got the biggest drop. It's an 11 millimeter drop. So, you know, for what that means, take it for what it's worth. It's got a large drop. It's the heaviest shoe, but it has the most aggressive outsole pattern and the deepest lugs, and it's probably got the most. It's more like a tank. If you think about it, I'm going to be running in conditions. I want to bring a tank to my run. Speedcross 4 is your shoe. If you're going to be going fast, technical, not as long of a run, this Sense Pro 3 is the shoe you want to run in. But if you're just going to look at my daily trainer, I want to take care of my foot, and I'm also going to be running in some really varied conditions. Maybe on your long training run or your race running, you want to go to the Sense Ride 2. And so those are my three shoes I'm going to be going to this summer in my shoe lineup. What are the shoes that you like to run in? Leave a comment. Let me know what is going to be your go-to shoe lineup this summer for the conditions that you run in. I love Salomon shoes. I've learned the hard way that there's no other shoe that you can buy for the money that's going to last as long and do what you're asking your shoe to do on your run than a Salomon shoe. So that's my go-to shoe lineup this summer. What's yours going to be? Leave a comment in below. Let me know what shoes you're going to be running in this summer. And as always, if you like these videos, like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Let's keep this going. I can't wait to put out some more videos. Got some great ideas for some cool videos coming up soon. Keep praying for the rain to break and for the sun to come out so that we can film some of those trail runs. So, hey, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. And as always, keep things real. God bless you. We'll see you soon.